What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Entertainment Plug. Listen, this is really dope to be back. This is day one of the relaunch. I am your host, Jay Rock. Really good to be back with you guys. I got a really dope show, abbreviated show today, but I do have a really dope show in store for you guys today. Uh, Gentlemen who I have been working with, I'm gonna say for the greater part of the decade now. And I could be off a little bit, kind of here and there, but it's probably been about a good decade, and we have been working together on a lot of um, not just cool projects, but really important projects for culture and for the business, and for us as well, and for the people who we have been really trying to push and promote and introduce to the world. And this guy, like, he is no stranger to doing that. If you're wondering who I'm talking about, his name is Durell Peart. Um, really amazing guy. There's so many titles that I want to give him. Just in I would say like in the executive type arena, but he's done so much in the industry, in the music industry specifically. And he's done so much for me as well. So with me launching my own station and then getting this show going, and it's so much stuff that I have going on. But with me getting this stuff done and really pushing this, it really was a no brainer for me to bring him as the first guest. So I know you guys are kind of wondering, how things are going to be going. I'm not in, I guess, a quote unquote studio or anything like that, but it actually is kind of cool. I'm actually building out my own studio. So I actually have some stuff in the works right now in the space that I'm in. So I've kind of been set up in a makeshift space really for the last month since I've had the station. So things are actually running very smoothly. Today we kick off. So there is the entertainment plug, and then actually at noon we're going to have Real Talk with Reese, and she's actually on location. I'll share all that information later into the show, and then of course I'll be a part of that show too, just as far as engineering and that sort of thing. But she's got a number of guests who coming to the location, and she's at, so that's going to be really good for the station as well. Of course, we are playing music 24/7. Actually, right now we have De La Soul playing. All Good by De La Soul featuring the amazing Shaka Khan. So actually, that is playing right now. Of course, you guys know that we have the podcast network as well, which actually really goes hand in hand with kind of my overall vision that I've had in place for a while, things that I really want to do. Obviously, I've been podcasting. I've been wanting to be in that arena, but I also have been in radio for over a decade. So I've really been looking at ways of kind of merging the two. People always used to say like, they would make jokes and they would say you got a good face for radio. And people would joke with that for years and years and years. But now we're actually putting a face to it because with you getting UGD radio or UG digital radio and full station, you're actually getting the podcast piece of it as well. You're kind of blending the two. So with all of our shows, you are now going to get that video functionality, and you will be able to actually watch us, while we're in the studio or while we're at whatever location we may be at for that particular day. And then on the flip side, for those who may not be able to watch, for whatever reason, they could be at work, they could be traveling, they could be doing X, Y, Z. And of course, we are available on your mobile apps. We are available through TuneIn. We are available through Apple Music. Uh, iHeartRadio was coming, so we actually have been posting iHeartRadio, but that functionality is actually not prepared yet. So that is coming. So we'll be on iHeart, we're on Odyssey. There's a lot of ways that you can get us, and then you can get us on our website too, utdigital.com. So you no longer have to feel like you got to go to all these different locations to get the different stuff that we're doing. It's all going to be in a centralized place at utdigital.com, and then the kind of the branches will kind of stretch out from there, and you can get us in whatever mode or fashion you want to get us. But again, the real goal is that we are blending radio, with, blending radio with the podcasting piece of it. So Again, you will always get that video functionality. Durell is going to be in the virtual studio with us today. So like that is really, really dope. I'm really grateful to be able to kind of do this kind of stuff and be able to do it for myself. So like that's like an accomplishment in itself, considering the journey that I've been on. But I'm really, really glad to be with you guys today. It's a little different because obviously when you think of radio, you kind of think of it the traditional way, with people sitting in the studio, and playing music, and then they're cutting out from the music, and then they're having conversation. Which there will be periods in time where we will do that too. We're actually we're building out a platform called UGD Live that is going to be more along those routes. So it'll kind of be your traditional radio feel. Our studio will be done by that once we actually launch that show. So then we'll all be in the studio together. It'll be traditional radio. We'll still have the video component, but we'll also be live over the airwaves as far as through the mobile app. So the kind of constant music will stop there, and we'll kind of cut in, cut out, play some music, and then conversation. So no different than if you're listening to any of your drive time radio shows that are your local radio, whether it's Radio One, Clear Channel, or any of the stations that are out there that have drive time shows. I mean, you got DLE, Ricky Smiley, you got Steve Harvey, like you got a lot of people who are doing drive time shows. So it'll kind of be that feel with UGD. So we are really perfecting that. That's probably going to be more along the lines of second quarter of 2025. Listen, the time is flying, so that's like right now. It seemed like it's a long ways away, but I thought right now was a long time away. 6 months ago, and it's like here we are getting this off the ground. And, it's a lot of things that I felt like I wanted to have in place before I pushed it, but sometimes you just gotta push it. So here we are. My guest Durell is going to actually be checking in with us very soon, probably within the next 5 to 10 minutes. We'll take a couple breaks here and throughout, but he's going to come in. We're going to have some good conversation. I will get you guys or bring you guys up to speed and keep you abreast of the additional things that are going to be coming to UG Digital Radio. It's a lot of stuff in store, and again, it's really, really good to be kind of doing this for myself and just kind of creating something new that people are not necessarily familiar with. There's so many, there's so many possibilities with radio, namely internet radio, and I love internet radio. So, I'm really trying to change the image of internet radio. It's almost like, some reality shows. People think that, when people are doing these shows, then, they're doing it because they kind of fall. There's people who just like that type of media. And really the same for internet radio. There's people who are in internet radio who really have a passion for internet radio. And there's people that run away from it because they don't necessarily know what to do with it. They don't know how to market it. They don't know how to promote it. So they think that there's nothing there with it. But there's a lot there. It's a lot of capability. With platforms like this where we are blending radio and podcasting and all of the different things that are out there and kind of making it one. You don't see a lot of that. You don't even see that on traditional radio, let alone internet radio. So, we are definitely here to shake the game up. I feel like we're shaking the game up already, even here in Cleveland. Like it's shaking. I'm seeing some things and I'm hearing some things. It's all dope. It's all good. So listen, once again, I'm glad that you guys are here. If you are tuned into the app, or if you're not, pull the app up because we definitely have music playing. We definitely want to shout out, people who are allowing us to play their music. Babyface is playing right now. Never Keep It Secrets, old school classic. So that's the thing here. You're gonna get today. You're gonna get yesterday. You're gonna get the hits. Get some up and coming, and we got a lot of content for you guys. New artists added to the app, Artinka Tierra. If you guys would be so kind to check her out, she is on the platform. She is streaming. I'll say regularly because I pretty much have uploaded her entire catalog into the platform. But Artinka Tierra, that is ARTINKA TEAIRA. I do believe. But you guys can pull her up on our app. Definitely check her out. Her music is amazing. I actually just did an award show here in Cleveland last week, and she performed. Um, and I actually may get some of that video up on the website. We are still updating the website to encompass, obviously, UGD Radio and updates that are going UGD Digital Magazine and everything else there too. So a lot of stuff going. Shout out to so many people, um, and I'll come back and do a lot of shout outs. We're gonna take a actually we're gonna take a quick break. So I'm gonna just throw our banner up. If you guys are here, you probably can hear the music playing from our studio, but you can also log into the app right now. You can log into 365 Live. You can go on to Apple Music. You can go on TuneIn, and you can go on Odyssey right now. We are playing Babyface right now. Never Keeping Secrets. Um, so yeah, everything is looking really, really good. So we will be back actually in a couple minutes. So just kind of enjoy the music right now, and we'll be back with you. Mr. Peart.
What's going on, bro?
Listen, man, do you know? First of all, I thought I sent you the link yesterday. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, no, I sent them this damn link. Then I'm going down the messages. I'm like, oh, shit, I never sent them the fucking link.
Yeah,
I created it, but clearly
it's all. I knew you didn't because I didn't see one, and I wouldn't have asked for it if I had already seen it.
It's so much shit going on, man. And then like Thursday, I was just like, I need a minute. Like I need a break. I just picked up and went to Detroit Thursday night.
Okay.
Just out the blue. I'm just like, yeah, let's go to Detroit. I just want to do something or whatever. I gotta get away. So
gotcha.
I'm legit like it is a 3-hour drive. So I just legit got in the car and just turned the music on and drove to Detroit. I got there like 11 o'clock, checked into the hotel and
sometimes you got to do that, right? Because you an empty nester now, right?
Listen, yeah, but I'm happy to be an empty nester though.
I'm sure you are. I'm sure you.
Yeah, it took some getting used to.
Yeah,
I think the first, because I mean he's only, you figure this is November, so he's only been in college since the end of August.
Right.
So it probably took me to the end of September, maybe like into October to just like not be crying because he wasn't around and all that. Because you know once they get so old, they're like, I don't have time for him. I don't have time for mom.
Right.
Like, don't nobody want to be around them unless he needs gas money. Then it's like, hey, Dad, how are you? How you feeling?
Yeah, when they need some money. Yep.
Yeah. But listen, man, this is really it's unconventional in the sense that usually when you do radio, you sitting in the studio somewhere. It's like 4 or 5 people kind of wrapped around. I mean, you still see it to this day, even with like the Breakfast Club and like all the different shows and whatnot. It's like traditional radio. I'm trying something different. So like, obviously with doing this, it was like, okay, let me reach out to Durell and see if we can.
I'm always whenever you call me, I'm always here. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And that's I think that's what I'm really getting at. I think that's really what I'm getting at. And I've been kind of approaching this with everybody, like when I bring people on the shows now, because you know how I guess careful and meticulous I am about who I bring onto the platform.
Right.
So everybody that I bring on, I feel like everybody is a part of the family.
Right.
So I'm like pouring my soul out to people and crying and shit on video. Like I'm just grateful, man. Like I really appreciate it. But you have invested so much into what it is that I do.
Hey man, I'm always here. Well, you've also been there for me too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I believe that you reciprocate to those who have shown that they genuinely care.
Yeah.
And you make time for people you want to make time for.
Absolutely.
It's just really that simple.
Yeah, I can absolutely receive that, but I think even more so in the sense of you've been supportive where you may not even realize that you're doing something that's really helping me or helping the next person or helping somebody. So
well, that means a lot to me, man. That means a lot for sure, man. It's life isn't easy. The country's going through a lot right now. You know what I'm saying? And going through a lot. And I won't get into politics on this call because people look at this late in the election. People are gonna feel how they're gonna feel. I have my own personal thought process. And I usually only talk about it privately because unfortunately, you can't have these conversations publicly anymore because no matter what you, even if someone say they're your friend or they like you, if you post something on social media, they're gonna put you in a box.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And no matter what they tell you, because they can't unhear or unsee, this goes for family members too. They can't unhear or unsee how you think, even if you have logic behind what you're saying.
And it's funny you mentioned the social media piece because I've actually been having a conversation with a couple people about that, about social media, and not even just being in this business, but in general. With people and social media usage and
Mm-hmm.
stuff that people are posting versus stuff that people are liking,
Mm-hmm.
and the image that you're trying to portray and all that
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
you gotta be careful, man. I mean, for
Yeah,
me, it's like even again going back to politics, like because my brand, my business, like I don't want to. Again, people will see you. They'll put you into a box. They'll put you in,
uh-huh,
and that will hurt your brand. That's why I don't think these celebrities should be endorsing candidates.
absolutely.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't because you don't win by doing it. Because at the end of the day, you're going to lose something for that. Like, is it
Absolutely.
to
Absolutely.
me, especially the candidate, especially the celebrities, Jay, that this doesn't affect them either way. Either way, like like when I look at like LeBron James, like what are you doing? Why are you Magic Johnson? Why are you endorsing? For
Right.
what? You guys are billionaires trying to tell people who are trying to figure out how to pay their bills who they should be voting for. I just don't, yeah, I just and I'm only speaking because just we deal in the entertainment industry. That's why I brought up entertainers, but I just don't think it's very it's a smart thing to do to publicly endorse people. It just doesn't. That's why Pharrell said I'm staying out of it. Like I'm gonna go to the polls or send in my mail in or absentee ballot, and I'm gonna leave it alone, and you'll never know who I voted for.
Absolutely.
And I think I think that's the best way to do it
Yeah.
because that way, because at the end of the day, you don't want to harm you. Because at the end of the day, regardless of this election, you still have a business to run. You still have things to do. You still have a brand, like
Yeah.
that. All that stuff,
And you get held to the fire either way. Like
Yeah.
so what you do.
So why give people because you're gonna from either side, whether you're on the Dem side, whether you're on the left or the right, people are gonna feel some type of way. And it's just what it is. So it's just tough. So you got to be careful these days with social media because you cannot. There was a time when you could give your honest opinion that people would say, okay, that's how you feel,
Yeah.
and you can. It's all love. You dap it up, you sure. But these days it's so divided. You just can't do that because even with
Yeah.
you can't.
Absolutely.
There's certain conversations you just can't have because certain families that you can agree that you can disagree on things and still show up at in Thanksgiving and they'll all be love. Other
Yeah.
families,
Yeah.
other families, you know, you just can't have that conversation. My family's like that, you know, so we can't really have conversation, because no matter how you feel about something, they're gonna feel some type of way. And
Yeah.
I've had to personally deal with that, and it's unfortunate, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, and like you said, even as far as the bigger names and the bigger celebrities who are now putting their endorsements and stuff out there, I really was saying a lot of the same thing.
It's,
The difference
it's
is because a lot of it
it's
doesn't.
no point. Like Cardi B last night. Cardi, what are you doing? What are you doing on that stage? Get your ass home. What are you doing? You are a celebrity. You don't have those problems no more. Those problems don't exist. Jennifer Lopez, those problems don't exist in your world. Because these celebrities live in a twilight zone. Because they live in a warped reality. They don't have the selection does not affect them. Tuesday, November 5th is going to come and they're going to go about doing whatever it is they're doing because they don't have to. Inflation, yes. People see, but guess what? They can afford it.
Yeah.
Either way, inflation isn't going to bother them.
Mhm.
Magic Johnson,
Yeah.
telling people, like, bro, you've been rich for 40, almost 50
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
You've been a millionaire since 1980. We in 2024. 44 years. You're sick. What are you, 65? 66 years old?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you have been rich way longer now than you have been that rich. So I mean, I just don't see the value because again, you're telling people who have to figure out and decide, well not decide, but well, this election is going to make a big difference. Think about the
Right.
senior citizens. Think about people on fixed income. who cannot afford groceries right now, who cannot afford things right now. And
Yeah, I mean that's
it's crazy, but it's like my roommate and I, we had this conversation a lot. Like this country is, this country
it's in bad shape. It's yeah. This whole election period has actually been pretty big for me as well because my sister is running for judge.
Wonderful.
Here and I'm beyond convinced. Like she's got this.
And the local politics is obviously important as much as the national.
That's the most important.
Yeah, the national politics. As we can see what's going on in Atlanta with the young. Let me tell you something, man. Fonnie Willis, she is a freaking piece of work.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how incompetent this woman is. When the judge has to call you out and say, look think about this. How you gonna go from giving Young Thug probation to tell him he gotta do 45 years?
Yeah.
When you were willing to give them what are you talking about? There's no judge. There's no judge that's going to go for
maybe that. There's more that I didn't see because I saw when they said that he was going to have, what was it, like 15 years probation? Or
yeah, initially I think they tried to offer him like, first of all, what they're offering the guy, I don't know how the details in front of me, but it's still crazy. You tell the guy he's from Atlanta. He cannot live in the city he was born and raised in. It's just from somebody who's not even from. She's from Los Angeles. Fonnie Willis ain't even from Georgia. She from LA.
Yes.
I mean, this is crazy. They find out that that they saw on the White House logs that you're meeting with the vice. What are you doing? What is Nathan Wade doing? Meeting with the white? What are you doing?
Right.
I heard that the guy had to take classes on RICO because he knew nothing about it, and you hiring this man to prosecute a former sitting president. This is crazy. And so, and then again, going back to the Young Cluster, keeping the entertainment base, the incompetence of her office is crazy. They are crazy, and this you can't blame race because this is all black people. You cannot you can't say it's race.
Yeah.
Fulton County is the blackest county in America.
Period.
So nobody can say anything about race because, number of black folk. But it just shows how it's the incompetence and the entitlement that you just think you can mess with somebody's life like that. You have a responsibility as an elected official. You work for the people. You have a responsibility. You're elected because people get. That is a serious responsibility. Do not just have somebody's life in your hands and being all willy-nilly with this man. And clearly there was not enough evidence to put the man in prison and lock him up. You know what I'm saying? Now granted, I will say this: a lot of these rappers, Lil Durk, all these guys is like, bro, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Y'all done made it out and y'all still trying to stay in the street?
I can't figure it out myself.
I don't understand that. Like, y'all made it out. Y'all are multi-millionaires. Made it out. And still found a way to stay in the street. I don't want to, for the life of me, understand that. But, it when it comes to the incompetence of Fonnie Willis, people really shouldn't be surprised at this. Because the whole county is incompetent. You have people, the whole county. They elect these people, and they want. Because I have a problem when you, and I'll just touch on. I got a problem when you have these people they love to go into the church, and I have a huge problem with that because politicians need to stay away from the church. It should be separate. It should be this is why I don't go to church. This is why I haven't gone to church in several years because it's becoming a joke to me, a mockery. you're letting these politicians who are women, and I just think that women are not supposed to be in the pulpit. That's just what it is. I didn't make the rules. You know what I'm saying? And when you're allowing this, and you know, eh, Fonnie Willis for lack of a better term, she ain't the brightest crayon in the box. And it's just like look at what you're making. Look at what your DA's office has done, where the judge is basically calling you out for incompetence. Like, what are you? He literally said you are acting like y'all threw this case together by the seat of y'all pants just to try to get a conviction, and that is not good. That is not good when the judge has to call you out and say, "What are y'all doing over there?" They had to take one of the judges off the case because he was doing some other stuff.
Right. I saw that.
They had to take one of the guys because I think he was corrupt.
Yeah.
So it's like that's how bad it is over there, man. I mean, that's how bad it is over there, and people got to be careful. But most importantly, don't put yourself in those type of situations.
What that part?
I think it's just that simple. When Lil Durk, I mean, you tried to book three separate planes to try to evade bro. What are you doing? First of all, like, why are you trying to get revenge for King Von? Whatever it is you're doing, trying to evade. I mean, bro, what are you doing? You a 32-year-old guy with kids. What did you do? Like, we see what's going on with the feds don't play. We see what's going on with the Diddy situation. You see all these things because speaking of him, he may never get out. He may never be a free man ever again.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's like, how do you come to the place where? How do they come to the place where they're able to shake that mentality of, like, there's just a whole mentality of, even to this day, not selling out and not breaking through from what you came from, and it's like,
I don't get it.
I'll never be able to figure it out how make it, but you still just can't break away from the very things that are bringing you down.
I do not, because a lot of these cats too, they keep a lot. Part of it, I think, is they keep a lot of the same people around them that they grew up with because they want to keep a sense of loyalty. Sometimes, and I think that's usually what it is, because it's hard when you get to a certain level of success in this business, this industry. It's hard to trust people. It's hard because if you ain't been around them, you don't know. So you want to keep people around you. Okay, I'm not from the inner city. I didn't grow up in the hood. I didn't grow up in any of that. But I'm just trying to use some logic and common sense. To me, it's more about you want to keep people around you that you trust, that you've been around. It's similar to professional athletes. You make it you from the NFL, the NBA, and you like to keep certain people around you because you just gives you a sense of normalcy, not understanding. Sometimes you get to that level of success, you can't see I mean, that's what Stephen A. Smith said. Like, some of my boys, they're my boys, but I just can't be around them because of their lifestyle. I can't be around them because I got too much to lose. And I think that's what comes down to it, because you're like, you want to help cats in the hood, but at the end of the day, you get to a certain level, there's only so much you can do. And I think they have a hard time letting go of those people that's been around them for half or to most of their lives, because they trust these people. These are people who they know are genuine to them. So they're not industry cats. They're not people that just surround them because they built some success.
And that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But then a lot of times, like, it makes perfect sense, but then those are the ones that are taking advantage of it.
For sure. For sure. So I think it's a tough balancing act, because it's tough. And that's why I think cats get jammed up in these type of situations, because there's people in their camps who got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And you're the one that ends up losing everything because you're the one that's funding everything. Again, going back to pro athletes, how do guys make $100 million playing ball? Like Adrian Peterson, he's an idiot. That guy is just, I mean, when you blow through 100, you made 100 mil even after taxes. You should have taken home over $50 million like Marshawn Lynch did. That man retired with $50 million in the bank.
Yeah.
Because he realized he lived off of it. These guys make so much money. He lived off of his endorsement money because it's so much. You don't have to, because what do you really need? You don't need 7 houses. You don't need 50 cars.
But I think a lot of that. I mean, obviously, that was a good thing for him to do, was to just live off of the endorsement money, because you really don't need to touch the other money that's coming
right.
in.
Yeah.
That kind of logic and thinking comes from having that education growing up.
Well, I think with Marshawn Lynch, I think from just I've watched a few interviews. He said he just had a fear of just not want to go back to the hood. Like, because you made it to NFL, you made it out. And he just didn't want to have to be like, damn, how'd you fuck it up? How'd you get to that level and screw up?
Yeah.
And now you back in the hood. So I think it's that fear of like not wanting to go back into the hood and accomplishing the goals that you accomplished. Adrian Peterson, I think his problem was he was trying to live above his means too much. You can't take care of everybody. You can't take care. Like, for instance, why do you need to fly in 300 people for a birthday party and flying everybody first class? What are you doing? Like I remember Shannon Sharper saying, "Hell, I'll provide the alcohol for you. I'll provide the food, but hey, you get here how you get here. It ain't my responsibility to get everybody here. There's certain people you take care of, but you buying 300 plane tickets to find 300 people in. No matter, I don't care if you get them the cheapest ticket. That adds up. Then you gotta put on in a hotel. Like, what this man had squandered all the money. I mean, the man made over $100 million playing ball, and he's broke. So I mean, he owes a lot of money to a lot of people, and it's like how, but it happens all the time, because these guys don't think that their lifestyle. Because when you're making those big checks, and you don't think it's ever going to stop, you have to professional athletes on different entertainers. Professional athletes, you have a small window, about 5 to 6 years, if you're lucky. Between 5 to 7 years, because the average player plays about 3, and they're all from baseball, football, basketball, right? If you get drafted at 22, you're usually out of the league by 25 or 26. Most players, So if you get to the 9 or 10 year mark and you made some dough, man, you got that money got to last you the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
Because you're right, and that's the thing. A lot of guys think that those big checks are going to keep coming, and when they stop, you got to figure out how am I going to keep the lifestyle that I'm living, and still be able to live off what I've made, And so I think a lot of those guys don't. One day, when they go to those rookie symposiums and the feds will say, "Wait, watch out for women, watch out for this because because that'll never happen to me." You know what I'm saying? And what happens? It happens to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. Look at Dre and Michelle. Dre and Michelle, you go from
all examples, but go ahead.
Think about it though. Think about it. Like, okay, you go from you're 39, and this one, and I really what Gilbert Arenas was saying, like people heard, because we heard her and I the same age. She's like 6 months. She's like 10 months older than me. We're born the same year. She's born in January '85. I'm November '85. We the same. We the same age. And you thinking about, and I think about it's like you get to a certain level, and she's old, because these women are considered old now. So the only options all of them only options they have is to go younger. That's the only options they have, because people that's in their age don't want them. So that's what happened. So I mean, think about it. Jay Michelle is had a baby. Her oldest son is 23, whatever it is, and you had a baby with a 21-year-old at the time.
Yeah, it's like where's the logic?
I mean, what's the logic in that? But again, she's securing her bag. The man just signed a big contract. So she's going to be in her 60s, still raising babies. Why would you want to do that? That's just ridiculous. Like,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
understand that.
Listen, I'm 47 and I'm done.
You're 39 years old, just had a baby, so you're gonna be what in your 39, 18,
Late
whatever,
50s.
late 50s.
Yeah, late 50s when they
dealing with a teenager. You know what I'm saying? Like, having to figure out how to deal again. But again, she secured her bag, so you know she good. You know, all of them. They, you know, that's why you see all them having babies. What's her name? Joey Chavez. All of them. They all having kids because they're securing that bag. Because no matter what, getting that child, so that's a check for them. So, but it's just like But what happens is they don't. They don't, because these women used to be considered like top of the line.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go back to Melissa Ford, right? So she's kind of transitioned. But Melissa Ford at one point used to be like she was the Drea Michelle 20 years ago, 25 years ago, the video vixen era. You know, you forget about it because these women are old. They're old now. The Gloria Velez, the Melissa Fords of the world, like the men's magazine era. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You know, that era. So it's like, so she had to figure out because she came up prior to social media. So there was no, so you got to figure out a way to transition. But I think a lot of these older people, you know, your Lalas and people like that, you know, it's tough because who's going to want them? Because unfortunately they're older because men have men have the advantage over time because men's earning potential, most men, doesn't happen till you're older, right? So a woman's value, this is just reality, bro. Like a woman's value, at least in the dating market, is youth and beauty, right? And so you have that when you're younger. So it's almost like this is why you'll see a man who has wealth, and he don't necessarily care about a woman that has an education and all the. He wants somebody who's young that can give him children. It's just different. That's a whole different conversation. But it's interesting how you see some of these celebrities play out, and they're making them like, Jalen Green, he's 22, 23 years old. She gonna be in her 60s, in her late 50s, early 60s, when y'all kid is in college. It's interesting. It's just interesting because I mean, essentially, if they decide to get married, which I don't know if they are. Oh, but by the way, did you see something on the schedule about Scrappy having a baby? I saw some last night about that.
Yeah, I didn't. I haven't had a chance to really sit down and actually dig into it, but I saw something that said that he and Erica had another baby or something.
I thought he got with it's somebody else different. It's a different chick. I thought he got back with Eric. I thought he got back with with old girl, but I could be wrong, because I'm not a big fan of the Shade Room lately. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really,
I thought it was Erica, so I need to go back and look because I did see something. This was like maybe a couple days ago.
Right. So I'm not sure what.
There's so much stuff going on out there, man. It's hard to really decipher what's true and what's not
right.
true.
There's so much going on.
A lot of stuff because I mean, you see, even like with the websites and stuff, I really don't post a whole lot of stories and stuff because a lot of times I don't know if this shit true or
you don't know me, right? You don't know what's these days. You don't know what's true. It's just
and then not just that, but even I guess even in the vein of not knowing if it's true or if it's not true, sometimes it's just not even worth my time. Like I'm like, I don't.
Like in the media you cover. That's what I always loved about what you do. Like you never been into the gossip. You never been into the of course you'll post certain things, but that's what you always talk about. Like you've had the opportunity if you want to make a publication that was just based off that you could do that. But you always
I mean the opportunity is absolutely there, and obviously more of the people who I really try to reach out to, they probably would support if I was doing like the crazy shit like that or whatever. But I'm just like, it's just not me.
there's enough media. There's enough media out there that covers that. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? And again, it's people because the lie a lot of times is more entertaining than the truth, and so but to cover black celebrities that have some substance going on. I think that's kind of always been your thing, like
Yeah. That's,
covering celebrities, and like I said, even covering up and coming independent artists that want a platform. 'Cause I tell artists all the time, I don't care that if it's 50 people that look at that article written about you. That's 50 people that didn't know who you were before, and so many artists I think drop that ball because they don't understand. Like it's really tough to get picked up covered by the major publications.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because they don't really understand how. A lot of times too, if you have a publicist, they're paying to pitch you. You know what I'm saying? It's like they don't really understand the PR game. You know what I'm saying? So because and it, so yeah, it's a lot of them don't necessarily. So, but because of course everybody wants to get on the biggest platform, but sometimes it's not about getting on the biggest platform. It's about getting on the platforms that are willing to cover you, give you a chance to tell your story, and that's valuable to me. That's just me.
Listen, it's valuable for me to even work with people like you because,
Yeah.
like at the very beginning, like I was saying, kind of in my intro before you came in, I
Hmm.
was just like, I've been working with this guy for the greater part of a decade, maybe a little bit
Hmm.
more, maybe a little bit less.
Yeah.
My timeline is always effed up, somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at that period where you and I started working together, like nobody knew me from a hole in the wall. So
Right.
it was like you and Brandon from American Marketing
Yeah.
and Tangi and
Yeah.
you know uh, the radio station that I was with, and now I'm mad because I can't even think of her name right now. Tracy.
Yeah.
And
And she passed. God rest her soul.
yeah,
You know what I'm
and like
saying?
Tracy
Yeah.
was like Tracy was counseling me through my divorce,
Uh huh.
and like obviously nobody knew that or whatever, but like
Right. Right.
Tracy was counseling me through the divorce when I was crying on the air and shit,
Yeah, I
and just
remember that. It was
so like
yeah.
I'm appreciative and I'm grateful to like people like y'all and so many others because like you said, like especially in that time, like it might have been like 2 people hitting my page or maybe 10
Mm-hmm.
people hitting my page or and that
Mm-hmm.
sort of thing. And when you're reaching out to the Beyonces and the Chris Browns and the Lil Waynes and like all of that stuff, like their publicists don't really give a shit. Like if
They
you don't
don't.
have millions of views and all of
Yeah,
that stuff,
yeah, they don't care. I mean, because
don't really
at that level, yeah, it just
and I mean, I think the only thing that I really had in my corner outside of working with you guys in the very beginning when I launched this platform is that when I was doing it before,
hmm
a lot of those artists I interviewed.
right.
So, at least when I was reaching out to them, then I could send them the old transcripts and send them the old interviews and stuff and the links from the old sites and everything, just so that they can see, like, okay, he
Oh,
is somebody legit and he did talk to my artist.
right.
I mean, but it's been a struggle, man. And then to
It,
walk away from it for a couple years or a few years and then try to come back, it's like
yeah.
I'm brand new all over again. So
Yep.
like when I tell you like as much as I feel like I push it, you have probably pushed it more than anybody.
Yeah, I've
You
always
push it
just yeah,
harder.
because I just believe in my mission and goal when I work with artists is to help them be global, and I just had a conversation last night. It's about education, and a lot of times too, you know, most people are only seeing the one percenters that get marketed and promoted. There's 9 million artists across the world. Like 9 million artists. There's 9 billion people on the planet. 9 million of which consider themselves a professional artist in some kind of way. You know, that with less than 10,000 is signed to a major label. And as you're seeing, a lot of these one percenters are wanted out of their deal. Ari Lennox,
Yeah.
Coi Leray. I just saw Coi Leray said she's an independent artist now.
I was gonna bring up Ari
Because what
Lennox.
because what's happening is that they're realizing that you know signing to a major record deal is not what it used to be. Because most people
Absolutely.
sign because Why? Because they want the budget for marketing and promotion. That's you because most artists that's the number one place where they struggle at marketing and promotion. They don't have a budget for it because they'll spend all their time making the records, but they don't have any money to market and promote. So they think if
But
I
to
get
me,
signed,
it's more about getting an organic team behind you.
yeah,
Like you got to have the right people behind you to
because
push.
what happens
Like
is when
you can do far more than what a label.
yeah,
You can do for
well,
any artist far more than what these
right,
labels.
and what happens is right. So they get signed. Here's where they have the okey doke situation. They get signed. Think, okay, I'm signed now. They don't realize you're still an independent artist when you get signed because they're leaving your ass alone. You got to make them care because you're part of a roster. When you get signed to a major record label, you're part of a roster of artists already been there before you got there. So why is that? And what if that A&R team that what if that A&R team will have signed you is gone by the time everything works out? You got
Yeah,
you have a whole new crew of people who don't know you, not invested into you, don't care about your success. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, and I don't know. And R Lennox, being R Lennox is she's dope, but she's also not the most commercial. Well, she's not the most. Let me take
I
that
think
back. I know I'm using the wrong word, but I mean, her music.
she's definitely dope. Like there's a
Yeah,
song that she had. I used to play it on the entertainment club all the
yeah.
time, and it was before she really hit like really big,
Hmm.
like that.
Hmm.
But I just think like when I listen to her project, they kind of have her all over the place. So
Right.
like she's got
Right.
all
Let
these
me.
different sounds on there,
Right. There's nobody that's helping her curate there. She's not working with a true A&R. Maybe I think that's what she's been saying. Like they don't know how. I've heard she's recently said they don't know how to market and promote me. They
they
don't know
don't.
how to do it. A
They
lot of times
absolutely.
too. So I don't know if because the mistake is okay. J. Cole is a rapper. Okay, J. Cole, and I always tell people it's tough when you sign to other artists because
I like to hear somebody else say that because I say it
as
all
no,
the
it
time.
never made sense. I remember when Ace Hood was signed to Khaled, right?
Uh-huh.
And Khaled is an artist and stuff. Because when you sign to an artist, they're still on their grind as an artist. Like, so how do they know when to give you opportunities, when to take opportunities for themselves? It's just very interesting on the bat, like when you sign to another artist
Yeah,
when they're still actively trying to be an artist. So it's
yeah,
just tough.
I agree.
So when you and then is J. Cole putting the right people around Ari Lennox who understand how to market her? She even might be his label, but is he putting the right people around her? I think this was the Olivia problem with G Unit. That's why I don't think it worked out with G Unit because you have 50 who is a marketing genius, but when you have a predominantly rap label, who you keep it like you can't put you. It was tough to put Olivia on the bill with the Lloyd Banks and the G Unit and the Tony Yayo all the time, right? Like, and that's why I don't think it worked for her. I mean, you know, uh, she had Lollipop record obviously was a was it Lollipop? One of them record, yeah, the Lollipop
It was,
song that she had with 50.
the Candy
So
Shop.
Candy Shop, that's what it
Yeah,
was. Candy Shop, yeah. Lil Wayne was like that. Candy
yeah,
Shop, she was a hook. She did a hook on that. Some other records, but it was always tough when you go to these predominantly hip hop labels trying to market R&B. It's just really tough. You think about even with Montel Jordan back in the day when he went to sign to Def Jam. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? He a singer with a bunch of cats that really are predominantly hip hop, and that's really all they know. You're only going to revert to back to what you know. So I just think Ari probably doesn't have a lot of the people around her that she really needs. And it's like, she probably wants to go independent. And when you go independent, like it is hard. You have to it all comes back down to you.
yeah.
Because it's
It
like
all comes back
you say
down
you
to
want out
you.
your
You got
contract,
to
but
be
you gotta
somebody
be the
that's
you gotta be the
hustle.
booking you gotta be the booking agent, you gotta be the marketer, you gotta be the
Yeah,
promoter. And so a lot
yeah.
of times, people have a love-hate relationship with independence. Like I've heard Nori talk about he likes the label situation. He wants to just I'm an artist. I'm gonna let the people who behind the scenes do what they do, and I'm just gonna show up and do what I do. Other people are more they want to have more hands-on and control over their careers. So I think it just depends. I think some people like to be like a Zay France. I think Zay France was saying he likes to because he's with Neo's team in the Compound Entertainment. But I think they leave him alone. He's in the system, he's in the Def Jam system, but they still kind of let him kind of operate like an independent. You know what I'm saying? And so, but he just in the system if he needs that kind of push, right? So I just think it's interesting with Ari Lennox and artists like that, a Tinashe, all these people
Yeah, like Ari Lennox, Tinashe, you got Snow Allegra.
yeah.
It's a handful of people out there who I kind of expected to do like some more things, some bigger things, and they just kind of fizzled a little bit.
I think it's tough, man. It's tough in this era to hang around, to have a core fan base. Somebody that's done a good job of that has been Tink. I think Tink has done a good job of doing that. She's released. She releases she releases music all the time.
I'm gonna give her that. I had to think for a second, but I'm gonna give her that. I think she's done good.
She's done pretty good. I think she's with Empire. I think she has the distribution deal through Empire.
Yeah,
I don't think she's signed to a label. I don't think she's signed to. I mean, I don't think with Hitmaker. I don't know if she was signed to him because I know they were dating at one point. I'm not sure, but I think she has a distribution deal, and she's been able to. I've been at shows with Tink where like she got real fans. They come out for her. I've been in the show in Atlanta where they came out for her. They knew every single word. So she has that loyal core audience that will show up for her.
Was she ever signed? Was she ever signed to Timberland, or did they just work?
I think so. I think she was signed to him at one point. I think she was part of his label at one point.
And I think that's why when I really think about her and say that she's done very well,
mm-hmm.
I think I'm kind of basing it off of that relationship because a lot of the people who were with them that didn't make it, that didn't really do big things with them, kind of like really fizzled on stage.
Well, I remember Timbaland saying something along the lines of I don't think he's a good label owner because to me, he's a producer, and I think a lot of producers don't. Some of them don't do well on the business side because their brains don't work like that. They can create. They can create all day. They like to create, but to put your business hat on, to think about marketing and promotion. A lot of them don't think like that. Because their brains function really in one way. They can make beats all day. They can create all day. But to then go be a label head and go and sitting in these meetings that you probably are bored in sitting in because you're creative. If you're creative, you like to create. So it takes a certain type of person, individual that really can excel at both. We think about like Ron Fair. You know who Ron Fair is?
Yeah, I do.
Ron, yeah. So Ron Fair was one of those executives that would be in the boardroom.
And that's Ron Fair because he was behind Keisha Cole.
Keisha Cole, Christina Miller, Christina.
I'm just making sure we're talking about the same person. So
the white dude, Ron Fair. Yeah, and Ron Fair used to, he was the executive during the day, but he would be at night that he'd be going making the records. That's how the music business used to be. Like Barry Gordy, these guys were musicians, so they would be executives during the day running their companies, and then at nighttime when everybody goes home, they're in the studio making the records. And we've kind of, so that was a long time when you had the executives in the music industry who were actually the musicians in the music industry would fight for the song because they're the ones making the records. Now it's just Suits basically say, just go find me a hot artist. Yeah. They're not necessarily ones that are fighting, making the songs, and then going and fighting for the songs that they made. I think that was a different time in the industry. That was a different time where again, real producers cared about the art. They cared about the music, and it's easier to care. It's easier to care about something that you had a hand in creating, and you were up to all hours of the night making a record with the artist, right? Mm-hmm. So. It's a different time now in the social era. Like we're in the Gen Z TikTok era now, very watered down era, but it is the best time to do things your way. when I work with artists today, it's your age don't matter no more. Age used to be a thing that major record labels used to use to be able to justify not wanting to sign an artist because they're too old.
Right.
That argument is dead now because age don't
Absolutely.
matter. Age don't matter now. Like age don't matter. You can be. I have an artist right now that's in his 50s that is dope. Jimmy Matt, a dope artist, and I told him, I said, so when we first started working together, he wanted to do like trap hip. I bro, you got to like, dude, you're a boom bap cat. You from New York. Like, do boom bap music. Do the songs that relate to you. Don't feel like you have to do what the young kids like. You're 53 years old, 50 at the time, 50 years old, 49, 40. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't try to feel like you need to appeal to young people when you're older. You know, it ain't your generation. You know, you can appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. I think you can appreciate what some of the, but like, if that's not the music that resonates with you, do the music that resonates with you.
But artists need somebody that's gonna tell them the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to. Yeah, you don't gotta. Because a lot of them make the mistake of trying to appeal to everybody. Like, nah. Like, I got one of my guys. His name is E the Mad Assassin. He is a boom bap, street bars, real lyrical. You know, like a Griselda type. You know,
Oh,
Conway,
okay.
Benny the Butcher.
Oh
Like
wow.
that type of hip hop. Right, like it's real
Okay.
street bars, lyrical. You know,
I want to hear. Look, I want to hear this guy now. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. This in his name, E the Mad Assassin. Yeah, him and I actually are born on. We have the same birthday. He's about 10 years older than me. We had the same birthday, but the dude is super dope. If you listen to his projects, it's boom bap. It's boom bap. It's hard hip hop. But like, because a lot of times, a lot of the boom bap cats usually don't know how to make good songs because a lot of those guys come from the battle rap world and things like that. A lot of them don't know how to make. He's one of those cats that knows how to make good songs. I'm thinking that's cool about him. That's always been a really good quality of his that he knows how to make good songs. Because he's an MC. An MC to me is different from a rapper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and again, but there's also a certain taste. That's an acquired taste. Not everybody's gonna like that hard boom bap, hard rap. Real, and a lot of it is he used a lot of street references that people don't. The average person may not understand what that means, right? If you don't come from that world, and I don't really come from that world, but I understand the references of what he's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot come from that world and understand it though. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, I think that's dope, man. You have done, and I know I said this already, but you have done so much for so many people. You sent me some music the other day, which I'm actually uploading into the station today. So,
okay. Oh yeah, with Joe Word. What did you listen to the song?
I have not. So I'm gonna listen to it and get it uploaded into the station so that we can start playing it. But I wanted you to actually talk about them a little bit before we end.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So Joe Word is so I run this ad called the Music Exposure Campaign, and for me the ad is really designed to. I want to help artists, bring them into my world. So what I do is I run an ad where I offer them different services, right? And so he came in that through that ad, and we built a relationship. And I was gonna work another record he had. But I'm like, yo, like, give me because I said, give me something that's clean that I can push to radio a little bit easier, And so he sent me that record that I'm the real deal. And I said, I like because it has a soulful. It's hip hop, but it has a soulful element to it. Which I feel can work on R&B platforms too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so he's a real good dude. So he's the one that I want to do the feature on with you. That's why I was asking about. How soon can we get that done?
Actually, the next issue is going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks because we're doing since I launched the station and we got the podcast network and everybody's doing their shows. We're all on the cover of the next issue.
Okay.
So that's the issue that's going to be coming.
So when's the next one after that coming in?
A month later, because I'm going to start doing a monthly thing.
Okay, so why don't we do the one that's coming? Because I'm sure you already have this one kind of laid out. So why don't we do probably the next one after that?
Okay.
The way that gives you time where you're not rushing to get that, and I could talk to him about it, You know what I'm saying?
I think that's dope. Are we just doing a feature? Or are we doing cover? What we
Hey, if we can do a cover and a feature, hey, I like that too. You know, you tell me
I can do
you
that just because I don't have anybody lined up for the cover of the next one yet. So
all right, so I'll tell so he'll love that. So I'll hit him up as soon as we get off of here.
So that's cool. And then I'm gonna listen to his music. I have to engineer a show for one of my clients at noon. And then once I'm done with her show, I'm uploading music and listening to music.
Yeah,
So
so once you listen to that song, just be like, yo, just let me know. Hey, I love the record. I like it. I think you'll like
absolutely.
it. I think you'll like the song because it's gotten really good feedback so far. You put it out, earlier this year. Last year. Once I heard that, okay, I can work with this. So everywhere I've sent it, it's gotten a positive response.
Absolutely.
So I knew you had a station, so I was like, all right, well,
absolutely. And that's what I'm launching this for, is to bring in new talent and bring, and that sort of thing, and new music, and the music that the majors won't play. And to really support these artists, because they need platforms like this. Like, I love internet radio, man. Mm-hmm. And it's
are you paying out through Sign Exchange? Are you paying out royalties?
Yeah, like I signed up for for all of that. So
so that's why I try to tell artists, because as long as the artist is signed up with Sign Exchange and the station is playing the song,
like, I'm paying for streaming through BMI and like all of that stuff. So
right, so BMI. Okay, so it's you paying for BMI and as well as Sound Exchange.
Yeah.
Okay, good, because most independent artists, because on Sound, so here's the difference on BMI. When they don't really deal with terrestrial radio. I mean, with digital radio, online radio. BMI deals with a lot more with terrestrial, right? So what happens is, America, we're one of 5 countries. We only pay on one side of the copyright. So we only pay on what we call the performing arts side of the copyright. So when you think about a copyright, you have 2 sides to the copyright. You have the sound recording, which is the master, which is the audio, right? That's one side of the copyright. The other side so I'll break it down like this. In copyright law, that's called a sound recording, right? You follow me?
Yeah.
So in the copyright law, that's called a sound recording. In the music business, we call that the master, right? And then on the other side of it, it's called the PA side of the performing arts side of the copyright. That's the lyric and the melody, right? We also call that the underlying composition, right? That's what it's also known as, right? And then that's that's in copyright law. In the music business, we call that publishing. All publishing is just, we're exploiting the musical work of that song, which is the lyric and the melody. So I bring it all to say that on terrestrial radio, we only pay on the PA side of the copyright. So that means if you did not write the song, you could be on terrestrial radio.
Yeah.
If you didn't write, this is one reason why Beyonce, whenever she gets a record, even if she didn't write it, she's going to do something, because she knows she's going to get X amount of spins on that song, and she wants to be generating royalties. Right. So that's why. Yeah. So they only pay. So terrestrial radio only pays the songwriter and the publisher. So only pays the songwriter and the publisher.
Gotcha.
So that's how that works. Yeah. So with Sound Exchange, the difference with Sound Exchange is they pay on what we call non-interactive digital streaming platforms. So that means anything that you can't control the playlist on. So that's like Sirius XM and internet radio,
right?
Music choice. If you have cable, you have a music choice platforms.
Yeah,
all of that is through Sound.
I wondered about music choice, like stuff like that. So yeah,
all of that is Sound Exchange. Like anything, anything through Sound Exchange. So, so that's how that works. And then Sound Exchange pays out 3 royalties. They pay out to the master owner, and the featured artist is made to royalties, right? And then they have a non-featured artist royalty. Most of the time, if you are an independent artist, when you put out your own music yourself, you'll get paid the master royalty and the featured artist royalty if you're an artist. If you're signed to a label or somebody else owns the master of that song, they'll get paid those royalties. But most of the time, that 95% royalty is going to be paid. If you're an independent artist, it's going to be paid to you. And what will also happen is a producer might say, okay, well, producer might tell you, all right, well, I want a certain percentage of your Sign Exchange royalty. So then what will happen after that is you have to tell Sign Exchange, well, I want you to pay out of my 45%, I want you to take 15% of that and pay this person the royalties from that, right? And then that person has to have an account with Sign Exchange and that whole deal. But that's how that works.
Right.
But I'm glad that you're paying out royalties and things of that nature.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've always wanted to have a station, but I don't know that I've always wanted to have a station. But I know that at this point, like this is the direction that I really needed to go. You know, just as far as even doing my own platforms and all of that. So it's like it's really I'm beyond grateful, you know, to be able to bring you on. We need like a TED talk or something, like where we just could talk for like 5 or 6 hours and then actually get paid for it or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think I have in my mind now, like the only way I'm gonna get overseas or something is if I could get on Durell's books or something. Because all his people get to go over. All his people get to go overseas.
We try to figure it out, man. It's never easy, you know. I like being global because
that's amazing.
It gives opportunities to other people, you know. It gives,
like if I was an artist, like to me, it would be a no-brainer to rock with you, like to be
like for instance, like
and to be able to go to other countries.
But you know what the problem is with that, bro? Is a lot of artists also too. They don't want to invest into themselves.
Yeah.
To do that, right? Because it's not a lot of times it's not a situation where you're going to get paid. It's a situation of investing in yourself for the long term. So that's why I don't always offer those opportunities to everybody, because not a lot of them understand what that really means, and they don't want to make the necessary sacrifices to do it. So
part of it is a generational thing, I think.
Yeah.
And I know I got you by probably 10 years.
Yeah.
But I just feel like you kind of inched your way into my generation or something, or maybe I'm kind of inching down to your generation because we think along the same lines, and like anything that I feel is gonna advance me and get me to that next level, and like I'm gonna do it whether I'm getting paid or not. And I could need all the money in the world, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do it.
That's how you got. That's how a lot of times that's how it is. You just figure it out. It ain't always easy. You just got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like we're in an industry that, one, you gotta be a little crazy to want to be in this business. Two, from an artist perspective, we're in an industry where the product that you're trying to sell can be consumed for free. So there's no other industry that works like that. Like you can't get a product without, like, you know, you can't go to the grocery store and walk out and just say, you know what, I don't have the money, I'm just going to go, but still, you let me walk out with these groceries. Still, like, you can't do that, right? But with music, you know, it can be consumed without ever paying $1 for it. That's why it's important to build your audience and connect to people, because that's when they spend the money, when they feel a connection, you know. So that's, you know, that's why that's so important, because if artists feel connected to you, they will spend the money. You know, they will. You know what I'm saying? So
any kind of final words, man? Anything you feel like you can get out there after the talk today?
Man, just like I say, continue. Anybody that's watching this that hopefully heard some value from this in some kind of way. You know, I know we kind of started out really more with the more gossipy things, but
listen, it's all good. I mean, that's you know what, to be honest, like, you know, the way our conversations always got to start out like that. So it's nothing new, but it's actually cool though. Like I was talking to, I did an interview, or I had a conversation a few days ago with Mercedes McDowell. So she's on that. She's on that platform. Wicked City. She was in Blackish a little bit, and she's done some other stuff as well. We just were talking about, just building the relationships, like bringing people onto the platform and actually just having not just random conversations, but just being able to just kind of talk openly and actually like a genuine and solid relationship, and not really be
for sure
always on a particular agenda. And that's what I like about like when I bring you on, like people can naturally see like the friendship, and they can see the relationship, and they can see that I'm here to help you and that you're here to help me. We truly support each other. Like that's all I wanted to build out of any platform that I have. Like I don't want to just be doing interviews just for the hell of it and just talking to people for to sell a product, and then at the end of the day, like we never communicate again. I'm like, I want to build these relationships, and we genuinely support each other and reach out to each other. And hey, you good? And I mean, it's been some days, and I don't really talk a lot about like the mental health side of shit and just stuff that be going on, but it'd be some days where like my head be in the clouds or whatever, and you just reach out, hey bro, you good? What's happening or whatever? And I'm like, and 99% of the time I respond back and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm good, everything is all cool. And I might have like a whole cloud of shit going on or whatever, but that stuff matters though. And that's what I'm getting at too. Like when I say that you've helped in so many ways that you probably would never ever know unless I told you. Like I appreciate it. The support, I appreciate it. The fact that you send people my way, I appreciate it. Like
for sure.
Above and beyond, man. I really, really appreciate it.
Hey,
I appreciate you coming on today.
It's
it's crazy because I planned on kind of doing like the traditional thing. So play music and then talk, and then play music and then talk. And then I'm like, last night I was driving and I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like I just want to get on video and let the music play, and they can get on the app and listen if they want to, or they can watch the video. Like I don't want to do the traditional. Like I just want to do something different and stand out.
Hey,
so that
when it's your platform, bro, you can do that. You know,
and that's the key. That's the key. Like I realize, obviously, I'm grateful for all of this stuff, but I realize how blessed I am just by having been doing all of this stuff for these years. Like I've taught Elijah so much. So like his head is in the game when it comes to learning about entrepreneurship. And he's in school for electrical engineering, which I'm not even going to front. I never would have said that my kid was going to go to school for electrical engineering.
Yeah, that means
he's going to go to the gym, but
that means like calculus and stuff that my brain don't work like that.
You will never catch me in a calculus class, but he knocking that shit out. So I'm like, hey, whatever. Like I'm just, there's so much stuff going on with our kids out here that like every day I'm just like, thank you God for like keeping him good and like pushing him along the way and keeping my mind in a place where I can strive and keep doing stuff and keep showing him that what you want to do, you can do.
For sure.
I got an award at a ceremony here in Cleveland last week.
Was that the one you wanted people to vote for?
Yeah.
I voted.
The thing is, the award that I got was not even what they told me to have people vote for or whatever. Like they had some other shit cooked up. And when I got there, like they gave me a whole different award. So like when I tell you, like I did the whole Oprah cry shit on stage, and I'm like, oh God, like I can't. Like it was a mess. And then my son took pictures for the red carpet and all of that stuff. Actually, my son and my nephews were working the red carpet and doing photography and doing video of me interviewing people and stuff. And that's like, I don't think people will ever get it, but that's like the best feeling in the world.
Right.
For your kid to be helping you with your, like he grown now. And like he wanted to be there. So it just was cool. But I'm super, super grateful to you, man. We got to get a TED Talk or something. Because you know I like to talk. I probably talk more than you.
Anytime, man. I'm here for you.
So any kind of final words or anything, man, before I let you go?
Yeah, people can connect with me online, Durell Peart on social media. that's how to connect to me if you want to stay connected and hear more about what I got going on. But I'm just here to continue to make a difference in any which way I possibly can, and it's pretty simple with me.
All right, sir. Well, we'll do this again very soon because I always got something cooking where I'm like, okay, I need to bring some people along or whatever.
For sure.
Appreciate you, man.
Man.
I will be in touch with you actually this afternoon about the music and everything.
Yeah, let me know, and then like once I get the confirmation from you with everything, I'll reach out to him and be like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. So.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right, bro. All right, be blessed. Bro.
All right. Have an awesome day, man.
All right, you too. Take care.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Listen, this was super, super, super dope. I went a little bit longer than probably what I expected to, just because we have Real Talk with Reese coming up at noon. We got to do some testing and make sure all the connections are good for the show. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I appreciate Durell coming on here. I tell y'all with everything that I'm doing, like I'm getting old, so I'm like over emotional about all the shit that I've been talking about. So like I'm talking to him and I'm saying thank you, and then I'm tearing and all kind of crazy shit. But I just it's good to be in this space of just doing my own thing and having people who naturally and genuinely support me. And again, this was not the traditional way of doing some things that I had, kind of planned out. But, my goal and everything that I'm doing is to stand out and be different and to be able to do my own thing. That's the purpose of me having my own, is to be able to do it my way and do my own thing and introduce people to something else. So I appreciate you guys for being here. Again, make sure that you download the app. We've had a lot of good music playing here on the site. We actually just you guys have actually missed quite a bit. For Set Michelle, Tiffany, Elias, if your girl only knew, Arrested Development, Tennessee. We had some Jasmine Sullivan in there, some Mary, and it's a full mixture of music that was playing here on the site. Classic, but then also some new stuff too. So we got DJ C's, who is part of UG Digital Podcasting Radio. He actually is going to be mixing for a number of shows. So he actually had mixes together for today, and then I did not even do it today. But he'll have some mixes for us next Saturday. So yeah, it's a lot going on. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm gonna be back on live with Real Talk with Reese. Actually, for the next half an hour because she starts at noon. So yeah, next 25 minutes. But I appreciate you guys. Hit me on social media at the Entertainment Plug on Instagram, at THEENTPLUG on X, and of course UGdigital.com. By all means, reach out to me, send me DMs if you need to, and I'll be communicating throughout the next few days and over the next week until we come back to the next show. Make sure that you guys tune in on the network to Open Letters to a Survivor. They are back. They were out last week. We did the Legend Awards here in Cleveland last week, so they didn't do a show last Sunday. But they are back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Podcasting Network. Of course, that as well can be pulled up on UGdigital.com. But that's Open Letters to the Survivor with Lady Poet Cassandra Williams and K-Love. Also, Tim is going to be there too with Motivation. So a lot going on with that. Transcending the Culture is back on November 20th, and we will be getting our first guest out, which is right now, I think it's going to be somebody really, really huge who I'm just waiting on confirmation. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. But Transcending the Culture is back on November 20th. That is back to Wednesdays, and that'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A whole lot more going on, but see you guys in about 23 minutes on a Real Talk with Reese. This is James, and we are out of here. I thought I was going to tell you guys something else, but I will. Yeah, I think I'm going to save that for next time. So you guys have a good afternoon, and I'll see you guys in a little bit over 20 minutes for Real Talk with Reese.